Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the newspaper review segment. Let's look at what the papers are reporting. The Nation newspaper with the headline, "It's now total war on terrorists. Airstrikes pound criminals in Katsina, Borno, abductions in Kogi, Kwara, and Sokoto." The Blueprint newspaper says, "Your days are numbered. Tinubu warns terrorists." And the riders read, "Troops free 7 kidnapped victims in Kano, foil midnight attack on Chibok. Police ashore on rescue of Kwara monarch, Kogi pastor, wife, others." Next is the Nigerian News Direct with the headline, "Insecurity. State police is now inevitable. Tinubu declares, insists citizen safety remains priority." Next is This Nigeria. Gunmen hit Kogi church. Troops battle criminal gangs nationwide. Pastor, wife, several worshippers abducted. Next is the Abuja in Kwara. Protest rocks Niger. Bride, 28 others kidnapped in Sokoto. Next is the Guardian newspaper with the headline, 42,000 schools still vulnerable despite $30 million safe school funds. The Leadership newspaper says, Oyedele, tax ID numbers not required for strictly personal bank accounts. You need a tax ID for your bank accounts if it's used for business transactions. Next is the Punch newspaper. Crude for loans. NNPCL battles 8 trillion naira outstanding debt. And Nature News special report. Orashi communities taste climate-driven floods. Bear brunt of government failure. Let's get down to brass tacks. I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Ria. Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. Yeah, it's my birth month, by the way.
Oh, what date?
December the 5th.
Okay, it's almost
just 4 days away.
I tend to always think about it like I can't really, I don't always remember. All right then, the Nation newspaper and the Blueprint newspaper, as well as the Nigerian News Direct, This Nigeria, all talking about insecurity. First and foremost, with the president declaring total war on terrorists, saying that state police is now very much inevitable. But in the same breath, we've been, getting reports of some churches being attacked, and even ceremonies, wedding ceremony, also attacked, where a bride and some family members were abducted.
Yes, for me, the temerity these bandits now have, right? On Friday thereabout, I saw something on TikTok with very short. We are going to Kogi this weekend, and look what happened.
And it happened.
And on the part of it that's making me happy is that.
How come you saw it on TikTok? Are you following bandits?
You know, to scroll through when you're relaxing and so on. And the good side is that it's the president himself that is talking tough on this issue. If Mr. President is talking tough, there are things he had laid down. I want to believe that there are things he had laid down that has given him that assurance, to say the things that he's saying. My hope is that we hear more of what the grounds we are gaining against the bandits as against hearing what the bandits are doing. I mean, abducting a bride-to-be.
Just to pick it up from there, Ibrahim, I tell you, the impunity of these people is totally getting out of hand, because you wonder how they are making videos to say they are going to a particular place, and they indeed go to the places. The president has been making bold statements, which we welcome, but I also feel like we just need to get to a point where we start seeing those things come into implementation. Something happened in Sokoto. A bride-to-be was taken away. It reminded me of a movie that I watched. I don't want to go into it. What happens to these people when they are taken captive? Let's talk about Kogi. Something also happened in Kogi in the church. It's like we keep speaking, but these people keep doing more things. We're talking about state policing. When is it going to be implemented? At this point, I know the president also said there is no more time again. This is the time for state policing. I feel like our military, the police officers, this is the time we need to stamp our foot on the ground. This is the time we need to fight this insecurity. We cannot let these people think that they've won us, or let them think that they can overpower us. We are African giants at the end of the day.
That's right. Well, let's move on to the Guardian newspaper with the headline, 42,000 schools vulnerable despite $30 million safe school funds. So the Safe School Initiative was actually established in 2014, where so many schools are all the schools are expected to be safe, and certain amount of money devoted to this initiative. $10 million at first, And then now we're talking about $30 million Safe School funds, which is not even helping. So for the 2,000 schools still vulnerable, and then some schools in the north are under lock and key.
Yes, so Mr. President is talking tough. Look, we are going to deal with you, the terrorists, these are your last days, and so on. And when the funds came, the Safe School funds came, it became the responsibility of one person, you know, one ministry, and the head of that ministry should be called. And what happened to the money? You know, however, money on its own cannot stem insecurity. It will help in stemming insecurity. It is the integrity of the officials that have the responsibility to do this that matters. So questions have to be asked. People have to do some serious explanation, and where you can't, the law has something for you.
I'm talking about Safe School initiative, you know, corruption, lack of funding, lack of monitoring, poverty, etc., are also causing, you know, I mean, bedeviling this initiative.
But, you know, for me, I'll just start with something that oftentimes we are always blaming the government. But when we are put in positions ourselves, what do? I'll leave that there. But now talking about the rural areas that you have said, you know, some schools have been put under lock and key. Ibrahim, if you are a parent in a rural area, would you want to send your child to school? You would not want to because of fear. Because oftentimes we've seen it happen over and over again. The attacking schools, they mostly take the girls. I was talking to someone in the rural area, and I was just speaking to her about education. You know what she told me? She was like, my child rather be alive than be a graduate. And that really hurt me and broke my heart, because we also understand the importance of education. If you have a country where your people and your citizens are not educated, then what are you fighting on? These children are the future of tomorrow, and if they do not have proper education, how do they represent Nigeria well? I feel like when we talk about all these things, the root of this problem is insecurity, and we need to fight that insecurity, because every child needs to go to school, needs to be safe in school. I should not be in school and be thinking that, oh, am I going to leave school alive? Are bandits coming to take me? We need to protect our school. How well are we protecting the schools? Oftentimes we say that we are proactive and not reactive. We are reactive and not proactive. So I just feel like there's so many things that need to be done, even to protect these children in school, most importantly.
So,
we have a myriad of problems. All of them are linked to insecurity. $30 million, that could have not only made our schools safer, but built more schools, you know? And we can't even show what we have done with the 30. Look, somebody has to answer for this.
And every time it's the government. You that you've been put in the position, what are you doing? What have you been doing?
For this, whoever, you know, whether a group or anything.
It's time for name callings, actually.
Must be brought to justice. But let's move on. I understand that we don't have much time. Looking at where we currently talking about Punch newspaper, crude for loans, NNPCL battles 8 trillion naira outstanding debts. And then 213,000 barrels daily withheld for loan servicing. Refinery rehabilitation adds 1.4 trillion naira to NNPCL's loans burden. So looking at us, even though NNPCL also recorded about 3 trillion naira gains in 2023, we're still neck deep in a loan. Talk about the crude for loan initiative, and all of those things are still, you know, not helping matters in our oil sector.
I don't envy Mr. Ojulari at all. You know, I wonder how anybody can go to bed and have a sound sleep when you know that the place you are heading has an 8 trillion naira debt. You know, and look, NNPC is just like we are talking beautiful things today, and we are talking dirty things tomorrow. You know, Mr. Ojulari has a big cleaning job to do, so maybe you should buy a bigger mop.
And you know, I was reading about it, you know, and they said selling fuel at cheaper prices than it actually costs. These are some of the things that, you know, the government is owing. Other costs on behalf of the government, also paying for pipeline and refinery security. So they put all of this together. But for me, I will just start with NNPC is a very, very big establishment, very important. We know how we depend solely on oil in Nigeria. We've been talking about diversifying, but we know that we are solely looking up to oil. I'm just hoping and praying that these establishments can just properly work very well for us. You know, we talk about refineries. How many of our refineries are really doing well? A lot of monies have been put, and they are not still doing well. The other day, we spoke about the fact that accountability, where is all the money gone to? So when it comes to, you know, NNPC, I feel like there's a lot that needs to be done, even rather better than the conversations that we're having here.
Absolutely. Nature News special report saying that Orashi communities taste climate-driven floods, bear brunt of government failure. That Orashi is in the Niger Delta, and then the issue there, the recurrent flooding, climate change and environmental factors, government responses and failures, which are not adequate, lack of proactive steps, etc. And then the socio-economic impact on all of this, so poverty leading to health crises and all of that. So what we need in that state, I mean that region, in the Niger Delta region, part of it in rivers, part of it in Bayelsa, etc. And people there are really feeling the impact of the environmental degradation as well as the climate impact. Very quickly.
Yes, and you need to see the level of poverty that is there. And one of the most expensive things to do in that area is move from one place to the other. That's simple logistics. So government should take a serious look at the plight of these people.
It behoves the state governments in collaboration with the federal government to ensure that the lives and property there are safe. Well, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. Still ahead on TVC Breakfast. VIPs turn to the correctional service, NNPCL, and private security firms to boost their protection. Join us after the break in a moment. We'll be right back.